Interest about burnout. So stay tuned. Today's question we found on Reddit by a user called Reformed Jerk.
Great user.
I know, right? This is what they post. I'm sick and tired of being told not to burn myself out. I don't have a choice. I need to put as much time as I can, every minute, every hour of every day, into my company. It's going through a huge sprint, and that's what it's going to take to succeed. I'm grateful that people care, but I can't just choose to work less. That option would mean failing. It's temporary, and we're in the early stages, and in a few months, I'll have a better work-life balance. So, Mike, what do you think here? Because I got a bunch of different thoughts I could say about this.
Yeah. This is, I think it's somewhat common, and giving the advice of, don't burn yourself out is
so generic and somewhat dismissive in a way.
Well, and going back to yesterday's talk, we could say that that's the exact advice we gave: is you need to take care of yourself.
But in this, and whatever is going on in this individual's life, it sounds like people are just being like, well, just be careful not to burn yourself out. Giving specific things, hey, make sure, giving a specific answer, I feel like is always a better option than just generalities. Now, maybe that person just posed this question or comment in a general way, and that's not what's really happening here. I think when people work a lot, and they spend, say, 18 to 20 hours a day working, they're doing so with a purpose, especially if you've just started a company, which it sounds like this person did. But you cannot run a race at full speed forever. So I think early on you have to pace yourself, because running a business isn't a sprint. It is a long-distance marathon.
Yeah.
And I feel like the people in this person's life are probably just wanting to make sure that they succeed. Sometimes we get in our own way. Mm-hmm. And when other people are telling us something, I feel like a lot of times it's mostly in our best interest to maybe listen. Not always. Some people don't have your best interest at heart. But the people who care about you in life and that express these concerns, there's some merit in listening to, maybe slowing down a tiny bit or get compromising to some degree where you're like, okay, well, I'm going to work only half a day on Sunday, or, take a little time, because if you keep that pace, you think, well, eventually, because I say it's only temporary, we're in early stages, and in a few months I'll have a better work-life balance. But something always happens, and I think you have to adopt healthy habits with your business early on in the best way you can. Obviously, you have to, adjust accordingly, but adopting a healthy habit of work and life balance from the get-go, even when things you feel like are sprinting ahead, is going to help you in the long run, because your endurance will be there, I know I didn't do that very effectively, and I burnt myself out. So, yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Mike? Do you have a different take?
It's it really boils down to a debt versus income ratio, to me. If someone close to me says, "Hey, you got to be careful, you're burning yourself out," mm-hmm. I'm gonna listen to that. I'm gonna take that seriously, because they know. Excuse me.
Don't die.
But if I'm hearing, it's a matter of source for those words. The closer someone is to me, the more weight those words are going to have.
Yeah.
I as far as it being a matter of debt to income ratio, that comparison, the way I see it is, the amount of time you spend working is there's a reason we track owner's equity. That's your equity you're putting in. It's sweat equity. And when you put all of that into the business, that business now owes you a debt. Okay? It's a debt you've paid. So the business is paying this debt to you, and you're borrowing from yourself in that. And so the more you borrow, the more difficult time you're going to have paying that back. You have to pay it back.
Yeah.
A better work-life schedule in a few months isn't going to repay the debt that you already put in. Mm-hmm. I think as someone noted that, a year later they're still paying off the result of that burnout.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to pace yourself. You also have to, like I said, recognize the source. If I don't even care if it's Gary Vee telling you that, you can't burn yourself out. If you believe in it and you have a passion, then work to make it happen. I'm not going to begrudge anybody the amount of hard work it takes to put in there.
But literally every person responding to this comment has all said, this person must think that this doesn't apply to them, but everybody reaches burnout at some point. And, you have to, I think, really, you can't really say it any differently. You have to pace yourself. And it's funny that everyone is responding kind of in kind there. I didn't even read the responses to the question at first. But as you've been talking, I was kind of scrolling through what is everybody else saying? And so, you got to consider who's telling you, but at the same, and you got to also, like you were saying, it's a great analogy, the debt equity you have there. As much as you put in, you're going to have to pay it back at some point. And most people, especially inexperienced business owners, don't understand that that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I don't want to minimize the amount of work it takes to own and operate a business.
Yeah, you're not going to work an 8 to 5 if you own a business. That's just not realistic.
But you also have to prevent the glamorization of overwork.
Overworking doesn't mean you're doing it well.
Yeah, I would argue that the people who are really successful are not that busy.
Yeah.
You look busy. To the outside, people will say, he does so much stuff. How does he get it all done? That's kind of the trick and the genius behind being a really successful business owner, is that you actually find time to do all those different things, to diversify, because you aren't doing it all on your own. That's kind of the big thing is, when you're starting a business and you don't have any cash flow, yes, but as soon as you're able to involve more people and be that leader and delegate, that's extremely important. Don't glorify overwork.
Yeah.
There's hustle, and then there's overwork, and there is a difference. There's a huge difference.
Yeah. So word to the wise: just take care of yourself and do an assessment of running a marathon. That's what this is. You don't want to pull a hamstring too early.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's all for today. Stay tuned as we discuss some more Reddit topics. And if you have any questions or comments, or you want to give some input on some of the things we discussed today, please reach out to all of our social media. You can find us on our website at PaynePoints.com, at Facebook and LinkedIn at PaynePoints, at Instagram at PointsPayne.
No, Instagram is Payne.points.
Hey, Payne.points, and then Twitter is Points Payne. God, every time. Anyway, that's all for us today. We'll see you guys tomorrow.